The human brain is a prediction machine. It constantly scans environments, categorizes behaviors, and figures people out just to put them into a box. The moment someone completely understands you, they lose interest. You become boring. You become disposable. But the masters of social gravity operate in a paradox. They do not hide, they become unreadable. By strategically shattering patterns and offering variable emotional rewards, they turn their very presence into an addictive puzzle. When they cannot predict your next move, their mind has no choice but to obsess over you. Welcome to the Unpredictability Paradox. The human brain is biologically wired to recognize patterns to save energy. When you meet someone, their mind immediately begins building a predictive map of your behavior. How you laugh, when you text, and how you react to pressure. Once they map your patterns, you become predictable, and predictable is boring. To break this, high-status individuals use the pattern interrupt. This is the deliberate act of shattering their predictive model by doing the unexpected. If you always reply instantly, wait hours. If you are typically reserved, share a sudden, highly passionate insight. By continuously shifting your behavioral tempo, you prevent their brain from filing you away into a comfortable, ignored category. You force their mind to remain active, alert, and fully engaged in your presence. Because they can never establish a stable baseline for your actions, your presence demands their constant attention and focus. Casinos and social media algorithms hook the human mind through variable rewards, giving prizes at completely unpredictable intervals. If you win every time, the game becomes boring. If you never win, you quit. But if you win occasionally, you become addicted. You can weaponize this exact neurological loop in your social interactions. Most people are constant rewarders. They flood others with endless validation, attention, and warmth. To execute the variable reward protocol, you strategically fluctuate your emotional warmth. At times, you are incredibly warm, attentive, and deeply engaging. At other times, you shift to a cool, polite, yet emotionally detached demeanor. This fluctuation triggers a powerful dopamine loop in the other person's subconscious. It will constantly seek your warm phase, working tirelessly to earn your validation. By refusing to establish a fixed emotional baseline, you turn your attention into a highly prized, addictive reward. One-dimensional personalities are easy to read and dismiss. If you are always warm and nice, you are labeled a people pleaser. If you are always cold and distant, you are labeled arrogant. The magic of magnetic influence lies in high-status contrasts. This is the art of fusing seemingly opposite traits into a single, cohesive identity. You must learn to project intense, radiant charisma and warmth in one moment, making people feel like the center of the universe, and then transition seamlessly into a quiet, cold, analytical distance the next. This dramatic contrast creates a profound psychological pull. People cannot easily categorize you. They wonder which version is the real you, unaware that both are calculated facets of your frame. By blending absolute charm with a sharp, impenetrable boundary, you cultivate an alluring mystique that draws people in while commanding their absolute respect and caution. In an era of oversharing, silence and mystery have become the ultimate luxury. Most people talk too much, desperately seeking validation by laying out their entire life story, achievements, and vulnerabilities within the first hour of meeting someone. To build magnetic attraction, you must practice selective self-disclosure. Treat information about yourself like a rare, precious commodity. Share intriguing fragments of your life, but never paint the full picture. If you achieved a massive victory, mention it casually in passing, but do not boast. If someone asks about your past, give a deep but highly selective answer. Then smoothly deflect the focus back to them. By keeping the vault of your personal life locked, you spark intense curiosity. People will naturally try to fill in the blanks, building a larger-than-life image of you in their minds. You control the narrative by controlling what you reveal. The human mind despises incomplete information. It is biologically uncomfortable with empty spaces, unanswered questions, and unresolved tension. a phenomenon known as the Zeigarnik effect. The echo void is the deliberate act of weaponizing silence to force the other person's prond to run in loops trying to figure you out. When you leave a text on read for a few hours, or when you end a meeting with a thoughtful, quiet smile instead of a standard polite goodbye, you create a psychological gap because you did not provide a predictable, satisfying conclusion. Their brain cannot close the mental file on you. They will spend their private time replaying your last interaction, analyzing your tone, and wondering what you meant by your silence. In doing so, they are actively allocating massive amounts of cognitive energy to you. They are essentially selling themselves on your value without you having to do any work. The less feedback you provide, the more they will project their own desires, fears, and fantasies onto you. By refusing to fill the quiet spaces, you let their own imagination do the hard work of building your obsession. At the absolute core of the unpredictability paradox lies the concept of sovereign independence. Most people are highly reactive puppets. Their moods, decisions, and opinions are constantly dictated by social expectations, trends, and the approval of others. They laugh at jokes they don't find funny and nod along with opinions they don't agree with, simply to keep the peace. This high level of social compliance makes them completely transparent and incredibly easy to control. Sovereign independence is the rare, high-status discipline of completely detaching your actions, beliefs, and emotions from external validation. You do not behave to elicit a reaction. You behave purely out of your own internal alignment. If a room is full of fake laughter, you remain quietly amused. If everyone is panicking over a minor setback, you observe the situation with cool, calculated indifference. When you move through the world with this level of unshakable autonomy, your behavior becomes impossible to forecast. You do not follow the unwritten social scripts that keep everyone else predictable. This complete lack of compliance triggers a profound psychological reaction in others. They realize they cannot buy your approval with standard social currency, nor can they manipulate your emotions with cheap provocations. Because your actions are governed by your own sovereign code rather than their expectations, you project an aura of immense, untouchable power. You cease to be a player reacting on their chessboard. You become the board itself, forcing everyone else to adapt to your unreadable gravity.